Since you've been learning how to deal with inequalities, and since we just went past a chapter that used graphing earlier in this course, then it's quite natural to combine the two. So here's a problem. Graph negative 4x plus 5y is greater than negative 20. This is called a linear inequality. And if you think of negative 4x plus 5y equals to negative 20, that should remind you of a line, because there are two variables, it's linear, and so this forms a line. So here's what I'm going to do to handle this. There's really two steps to this process. I'm going to first graph this as an equation, as an equal to, as a line. So we'll draw the grid, and again, make it larger. Some of you wrote very small grids on your homeworks, and you got lost points for that because you ignored my requests in my book and my videos to write bigger graphs. Alright, so if x equals to 0, let me do a little chart here. I'm going to use the intercept method. If x equals to 0, then y would be, divide by 5, y would be negative 4. And then if y was equal to 0, divide both sides by negative 4, and x would be positive 5. Now notice that I'm treating this as if it's an equal, because what I want to graph is the line, and the line is where the left side equals to the right side. And then we'll deal with this greater than after that. So, alright, so 0, negative 4. This negative 4 is on the y-axis, so it's down here. And let me do this in green. 5 comma 0, 5 is over here, like so. And I think I'll put a couple of numbers in here, because your reader needs to tell what scale you're using. Alright, now it says greater than. So I'm going to use a dotted line. Well, we call them dotted lines, but we draw dashed lines with dashes. So let me see if I can get that, do a good job of this. There's my dotted line or dashed line. When this reads an equal to also, if it read greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, then we would use a solid line. But when it reads greater than, or if it reads less than without the equal to, then we do a dashed or dotted line. Alright, now the line represents equal. We want to know what side of this graph is greater than negative 20. And the nice, wonderful thing about this is that the line divides the whole plane into two simple parts. On one side, this is greater than negative 20. On the other side, it's less than negative 20. Your job is to figure out which side is which. And we can do that quite simply by just looking at one test point. Now, a test point is a number that's not on your line. And the easiest test point to pick is, in this case, would be the origin, 0, 0. So I'm going to plug in that number into the original problem, and I'll do it over here. I'm going to test 0, comma 0. So when I plug zeros in, I get negative 4 times 0 plus 5 times 0 is greater than negative 20. And as you can see, the whole left side is 0. So 0 is greater than negative 20. And then you have to ask yourself, is this true or false? 0 is greater than the negative number, so that's a true statement. So because that tested true, then this point falls on the true side. In other words, negative 4x plus 5y is greater than negative 20 at the test point, and in fact on the entire side of that line. So I'm going to shade it, the graph this way. And that indicates that this inequality is represented by the shaded area. And so now we're done. And I'll do one more example in the next video.